Hello friends, welcome back to the series part that is certified in the Risk and Information System Control, Part 6, Domain 3. Today, we are going to discuss the continuation of the previous part, that is the good practices for testing. The first, we'll discuss about some unit testing and code review, and second, integration or system testing. Right? Let's start with the today's first topic. First, about the best practices in unit testing and code review. Friends, unit testing and code review are essential process in the software development and system maintenance, and these practices help to ensure that individuals, component of a system work as expected and that code meet quality and compliance standard. Friends, in this video, we will explore the importance of unit testing and code review, the best practices to follow, and the impact they have on the overall quality of software and system functionality. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of why these processes are crucial and how they contribute to the success of any software development project. Let's start. First, about the challenges of the integrated system, that is understanding the need for comprehensive testing. First is about the complexity and the potential point of failure. Friends, imagine that you have a really complicated machine or system. So the more complex it is, the more chances there are for the things to go wrong. And we call these potential problems, that is point of failure. It is like having a lot of buttons and any one of them could cause a problem, right? So in this system, different parts work together, making it hard to figure out exactly what causing an issue when something goes wrong. So you can't just look at one part, you have to look at the whole thing. It's like a bit like finding a needle in a haystack, right? So to make sure everything works smoothly, we have to do thorough testing, and testing is like checking all the buttons, making sure each one does what it is supposed to do. This way we can be sure the whole system works the way it should without any surprises. Right? Next about the importance of testing at different level. Friends, imagine that you are building a strong and a secure fortress to protect valuable treasures, and testing at different level means checking the strength and security of each part of the fortress separately, like testing the walls, the gates and the guards, right? So friends, testing at different level is like making sure every part of your fortress is strong and secure. We check the walls, gates and the guards individually to find and fix any problem before putting everything together, and this helps us to make sure our fortress work well as a whole and can protect our treasure effectively. So in the context of cybersecurity, this approach means checking the security of different components of a system like software or network separately before combining them, and it ensures that potential issues are identified and fixed early on, making the overall system more robust and secure. Next, about the role of third-party review. Friends, let us simplify the phrase that the role of third-party review in context of cybersecurity using an example. Right? So in the context of cybersecurity, the third-party review help to ensure that a code, that is instruction that make the software work, is well made, secure and follow established standards. And this additional review by an impartial expert help to maintain the integrity of the code and identifies any potential issues or vulnerabilities. Moving next. Next, we'll discuss about some best practices in the coding standard. Friends, in software development, adherence to the organizational coding standard is crucial. Friends, coding standards are the set of guidelines and rules that develop developers follow when writing code and organizational coding standards are specific to a particular company or development team. Next, developers must follow industry best practices, including the proper use of comments and coding convention. Friends, developers should follow the widely accepted industry best practices in software development to ensure efficiency, reliability, and compatibility. So, just take an example like using a version control system like Git, conducting code review, and adopting agile methodologies are considered industry best practices. Similarly, including the proper use of comments and coding convention, it implies that comment in a code provide explanation about the code logic, making it easier for other developers or even the original author to understand the purpose and functionality of the code. We can say take an example like comment might explain a complex algorithm or rationale behind a particular implementation. Next, these standards should reflect good practices wherever compatible with the organizational goals. Friends, compatibility with the organizational goals, means that the coding standard should align with goals and objective of the organization, ensuring that the software development process support broader business objectives. Example, like if an organization prioritizes scalability, coding standards might emphasize modular and scalable code architecture. Next, an emphasis on high quality coding standard contribute to a overall reliability and maintainability of the software. Friends, contribution to reliability, right? It means that coding adherence to the coding standard contribute to the overall reliability of the software by reducing the likelihood of bugs, errors, and inconsistencies. So following the coding standards can help to prevent common programming mistakes and improve the overall stability of the software. Next, about the contribute to the overall reliability and maintainability. In this maintainability, that is a well-defined coding standards make the code base more maintainable, allowing developers to understand, update, and extend the software efficiently. Taking an example like clear and concise code structure along with the descriptive comment makes it easier for developers to maintain and enhance the software over time. To summarize it, we can say that the adherence to the organizational coding standards combined with industry best practices promote good coding habits and enhances the reliability and maintainability of software and ensures the development effort aligned with the organizational goal. Next, we'll discuss about the value of the third party review, that is a benefit of external code validation. First is about the detecting unauthorized changes. Friends, in a software development, a third party review involves having an external entity not directly involved in the development process or examine the code. Just taking an example, like an independent security expert or a team from different department may conduct a third party review of the code. Similarly, detecting unauthorized changes in the code, it means that the third party review help to identify any modification to the code that were not authorized or intended. Friends, unauthorized changes could introduce security risk or compromise the integrity of the software. Just we'll take an example like if a malicious actor tries to insert a backdoor into the code, a third party review may uncover this unauthorized change. Next, about the Third-party review can detect unauthorized change in code and preventing the security vulnerabilities and ensuring that the code meet the compliance standard. Preventing the security vulnerabilities, that a security vulnerability in a code can be exploited by attackers. Third-party review may play a crucial role in identifying and addressing potential security weaknesses before they can be exploited, and ensuring that the code meet the compliance standard. It means that the code compliance standard refer to the guidelines and regulations that a code must adhere to, such as industry standards or the legal requirement. Take an example like if a company is subject to data protection regulation, a third party review ensure that the code complies with the relevant privacy and security standards. Friends, this validation process is an essential step before a production use. This validation process involves confirming that the code meet the quality, security and compliance standard before it is deployed for actual use in production environment. So before releasing a new version of a software product, a code undergoes a validation process to ensure that it functions correctly and meets all necessary criteria. Next, next is about the identifying inadequate implementation. Friends, the third party review can identify adequate error handling, input validation or documentation in the code. Friends, error handling involves how a program responds to unexpected situations, right? So inadequate error handling can lead to unexpected behavior or vulnerabilities. Consider if a web application does not handle errors gracefully, it may expose sensitive information or crash unexpectedly. The third party review can catch such issues. Similarly, input validation, it means it ensures that the data entered into the system is of the expected format and range. Issues in input validation can lead to security vulnerabilities such as injection attack. And or documentation in the code, it means that the documentation is crucial for understanding how the code works, and gap in the documentation can hinder maintenance and making it challenging for others to work with the code. Next, about the identifying the inadequate implementation, it helps to ensure the code meet industry standards for quality and compliance. Friends, industry standards outline the best practices and benchmark for software development, ensuring that code meet the certain quality criteria. In addition to quality, industry standards may include compliance requirements related to security, privacy, and other regulatory aspects. So if a healthcare application must comply with Healthcare Insurance Portability and Accountability Act regulation, the third party review ensure that the code align with these compliance standards. Friends, third party review. Next, about the impartial review based on the standard. Friends, an impartial review based on the industry standard rather than personal preferences ensure that the code meet the necessary quality and compliance requirement for successful integration and use in the production environment. Friends, impartial review, it suggests that it is conducted by an individual who is unbiased and not influenced by personal preferences or opinions. It focuses on objectives evaluation based on the established criteria. The impartial review based on industry standard. Industry standards are guidelines and benchmarks widely accepted in the software development field. Right? rather than a personal preference, ensure that the code meet the necessary quality and compliance requirement for successful integration and use in the production environment. Friends, in this successful integration, that integration involves combining different components or modules of the software, and code that meet the quality and compliance standard is more likely to integrate successfully with other parts of the system. And production environments are live settings where the software is used by the end user. Code that meet quality and compliance standards is more reliable and secure for production use. Just take an example, like before deploying a new version of an e-commerce platform, an impartial review ensures that the code is free from security vulnerabilities and follow industry standards, minimizing the risk of issues in the live environment. Friends, impartial review based on the industry standard ensure that the code is evaluated objectively, free from personal preferences, and meet the necessary quality and compliance requirement for successful integration and use in the production environment. And this process contribute to the overall reliability and security of the software. Next, about the applicability to network hardware. Friends, similar to the code review in the software development, network administrator may benefit from having a third-party review when making changes to the configuration for routers and the network hardware. Friends, it is essential for ensuring the integrity and security of the network system. The primary goal of the third-party review is to ensure integrity and security of network system. This involves confirming that changes to the configurations align with the best practices and the security standards. The review should confirm that the changes in the network configuration align with the industry standards and the best practices in the networking and cyber security. Similarly, friends, the third-party review help to detect the potential security vulnerabilities introduced by the configuration changes, ensuring that the network remain resilient against the cyber threat. Moving next. Next, we'll discuss about some alignment with the organization policies, that is integration of testing and organizational goal. First is about the role of self-assessment. Friends, self-assessment play a valuable role in the development process, but formal testing should be done by the individuals not involved in the creation of deliverables being tested. Friends, self-assessment involves individuals evaluating their own work or deliverables, providing a preliminary review within the development process. Just take an example like a software development reviewing their own code to identify potential issues or area for improvement is an example of a self-assessment. Next, about the formal testing. Friends, formal testing is conducted by the individuals who are not directly involved in the creation of the deliverables. This ensure an external and unbiased evaluation. Example like a quality assurance tester who are separate from the development team conducting through testing of a software application is an instance of formal testing. Friends, this ensures the impartial and objective evaluation of the code. Impartial and objective evaluation is the goal to ensure that the evaluation of the code is impartial and objective, free from biases that may arise when individuals assess their own work. Example like an external code reviewer not involved in coding process conducts a review to objectively assess the code quality, adherence to the standards and potential reviews. Next, about the integrating organizational policies. Friends, The risk practitioner should be aware of any organizational or department policies that apply to the testing. It means that the risk practitioner is responsible for managing and mitigating the risk within an organization. This involves being knowledgeable about any policies specific to testing within the organization or department. So, understanding policies related to the data protection, compliance, and the quality standards that apply to the testing activities. Next, procedure should be designed to account for and support these higher level control, aligning with the organizational goal and industry standards. Friends, the procedure for testing should be designed in a way that align with the support higher level control and policies established by the organization or regulatory bodies. So testing procedure should align with the broader goals and objectives of the organization. This ensures that testing activities contribute to the overall success and efficiency of the organization. So if one of the organization goal is to improve the customer satisfaction, testing procedures might include usability testing to ensure a positive user experience. Similarly, in addition, testing procedures should conform to the relevant industry standards and best practices. And this ensures that the organization is following accepted norms and benchmark in the field. Right? Moving next. Next, we'll discuss about some vulnerability assessment and commercial software. That is challenges in the testing commercial software. First is about the detailed engineering information. Friends, detailed engineering information includes in-depth knowledge about the inner working and architecture of a system or a software. For an open source software project, detailed engineering information might be available in the form of source code or documentation and architectural diagram. So vulnerability assessment involve systematically evaluating a system or a software for security weaknesses or potential vulnerabilities. However, commercial software often lacks sufficient insight into its fundamental operation for informed testing. Challenges with the commercial software, like commercial software, especially proprietary solutions, may not provide detailed engineering information, making it challenging to conduct comprehensive vulnerability assessment. So in the case of a commercial database management system, the source code may not be accessible, limiting insight into how certain security features are implemented. So commercial software often lack sufficient insight. Friends, commercial software often lack the sufficient visibility into its internal operation, which can hinder the ability to perform the informed testing from a vulnerability assessment perspective. Right? So informed testing requires a deep understanding of the software internal, and the absence of detailed engineering information can pose challenges. Next, about the subjective review based on the pen testing. So under the subjective review based on the pen testing, it states that for commercial software and vendor products, review are more subjective and based on the penetration testing model. Friends, commercial softwares or vendors products are proprietary solutions developed by a third party organizations for sale or licensing, such as Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop, etc. So review of commercial softwares are described as subjective, meaning they are influenced by personal opinions, experiences and interpretations. Hence, the penetration testing model involves actively assessing the security of a system or software by simulating the real world attack to identify the vulnerability. And this method allows for a more informed evaluation even without detailed engineering information. Informed evaluation, it means that the penetration testing model allow of a security posture of commercial software even in the absence of detailed engineering information. And by simulating potential cyber threat, pen testing can reveal vulnerabilities that may not be apparent through other assessment methods. Friends, the primary goal of pen testing is to identify and address security vulnerabilities, weaknesses, and potential point of exploitations within a system or software. The pen testing model is effective in identifying security weaknesses and potential risks that might be exploited by the malicious actor. Right? Moving next. Next, we'll discuss about the role of the risk practitioner. Friends, the primary role of a risk practitioner is to manage and mitigate the risk within an organization. So this include understanding the concept and limitations of the testing approaches like unit testing and code review. The risk practitioner should have a fundamental awareness of the concept and the limitations associated with unit testing and code review. Unit testing involves testing individual component or unit of code to ensure they function as intended. And code review involves a systematic examination of source code by peers or experts to identify issues, ensure adherence to the standards, and improve overall code quality. Just take an example like developers reviewing each other's code to catch bugs, enforce coding convention, and share knowledge within a development team. Friends, standards should be in place as the basis for any testing that performed, and the risk practitioner should ensure that the procedure align with the organizational and department policies. Friends, the risk practitioner should ensure that the testing procedure, including unit testing and the code review, align with the organizational and departmental policies. So verifying that code review include check for compliance with security policies and that unit test cover critical functionalities outlined in the organizational standards. Friends, organizational policies provide guidelines for how software development activities, including testing, should be conducted. Next, next we'll discuss about the integration and system testing in complex system. Friends, integration and system testing are crucial steps in ensuring that a complex system functions as intended. And after individual components have been tested, the next step is to assess how these components work together within the system. And this include testing interface and overall operational capability. Friends, system testing is important for identifying any integration problems and ensuring that the system functions seamlessly with upstream and downstream peers. Next, first is about the integration testing, that is distinct from the component level testing. Friends, integration testing is a level of testing that focuses on verifying the interaction and interface between the different component or modules within a system. So testing a communication between a database module and the user interface module is to ensure that data is retrieved and displayed correctly. So friends, integration testing differ from a component level testing as it focuses on interaction of a system with upstream and downstream peers. Friends, component level testing, also known as unit testing, it involves testing individual components or modules in isolation to ensure that they function correctly. And it focuses on interaction with the system. Friends, integration testing differs from the component level testing by focusing on the interaction of the system with upstream and downstream peers on the component. Integration testing considers that not only the interaction between the components but also how the system interact with external element or the component that are either providing inputs upstream or receiving outputs, that is downstream. So integration testing demonstrate how different components which may have been independently tested work together as a cohesive system. So integration testing illustrate how components collaborate and exchange data to achieve the intended functionality of the system. So integration testing provides a more holistic evaluation of the system's behavior by considering the combined effect of the component interaction. Next, about the separation from the developer testing. Friends, unit testing involves testing individual component or modules in the isolation to ensure that they function correctly. Similarly, initial integration testing focuses on verifying the interaction between components as they are integrated for the first time. And this phase ensures that the components can work together in a basic way. So friends, unit testing and initial integration testing are often carried out separately from final system testing to ensure that the components being tested are not being modified by the developer during the testing process. Friends, in this the word final system testing is conducted on the entire integrated system to validate that this meet the specified requirement and functions as intended. And it is the last phase of testing before deployment. Friends, unit testing and initial integration testing are often carried out separately from the final system testing to prevent developers from modifying the component being tested during the testing process. And once the developer complete the unit testing, the tested component remain unchanged during initial integration testing to ensure that the interactions are tested without ongoing modifications. Friends, the separation of unit testing, initial integration testing and the final system testing is a structured approach that prevent interface from ongoing developer modifications, ensure stability during testing and provide assurance in identifying and resolving integration problems systematically. And this approach contribute to the overall reliability and functionality of the system. Next, about the purpose of the system testing. Friends, system testing is a comprehensive testing phase that evaluates the entire integrated system to ensure that it meets specified requirement and functions as intended, such as testing the complete e-commerce application including user interface, database and backend services to verify its overall functionality. Friends, system testing is crucial for assessing the security functions designed and implemented in the system. It aims to verify that the security features operate as intended. Similarly, system testing validates that the security functions have been built according to the design specifications and the requirement outlined during the development phase. It also helps in identifying any deviations or discrepancies between the designed security features and their actual implementation. Friends, it also ensures that the integration of all the security features, verifying that they work harmoniously together to provide a robust defense against potential threats. So friends, overall we can say that the system testing is essential for assessing the security functions incorporated into the system, validating adherence to the design and identifying deviations. ensuring proper documentation and overall providing a comprehensive evaluation of the system security posture. And this phase plays a critical role in delivering a secure and reliable software system. Moving next. Next we'll discuss about some system testing, that is a security assessment and control implementation. First is about the performance of system security function. Friends, system testing serve as a purpose of evaluating the entire integrated system to ensure that it function as intended and meet specified requirements including its security aspects. So conducting comprehensive testing of an online banking system to assess its functionality, security and overall performance. Next, one purpose of the system testing is to assess the security function designed into the system. This involves testing the performance. Friends, system testing involves the evaluating the performance of security functions to ensure that they operate efficiently under various conditions and loads. System testing verifies that the security function have been built according to the specified design and requirement outlined during the development phase. It also involves the evaluation of various security mechanisms implemented in the system, including those related to data protection, access control, and threat detection. Friends, one of the primary purpose of the system testing is to assess the security functions within the system. And this involves testing the performance of these functions, ensuring adherence to the specific design, and validating their effectiveness in safeguarding the system against potential security threat. Next, about the testing new control implementation. Friends, whenever a new control such as security measure or safeguard is introduced into the system, system testing becomes crucial to evaluate its impact on the overall functionality and security of the system. So implementing a new intrusion detection system as a control measure to enhance security in an organization network. Friends, this is crucial for identifying any potential system vulnerabilities and ensuring that a new control functions are intended. Friends, potential system vulnerabilities is a system testing is essential for identifying any potential vulnerabilities that may arise as a result of implementing a new control. It helps to ensure that system remain resilient to security threats. So testing a system to identify if the introduction of new access control mechanism inadvertently create loopholes or unintended consequences. So system testing is a critical whenever a new control is implemented. It plays a key role in identifying potential vulnerabilities, ensuring the intended functionality of the new control, validating its integration into the system, and supporting the overall security and operational goal of the organization. Next, about the scope of control. Friends, system testing also help in addressing any effect of control beyond their anticipated scope. Friends, the system testing in this, whenever new controls are implemented, there is a potential for unintended consequences or side effect that may impact the overall system functionality. And system testing help in identifying and addressing these unforeseen issues. So implementing stricter access control to ensure security but unintentionally causing delay in user access to the essential resources. It also has been designed to simulate real world scenarios and usage pattern, helping to uncover any unanticipated effect or impact of control or different components of the system. It provides a comprehensive evaluation of the effect of the control, considering how they interact with the other system component and assessing their influence on the overall system behavior. So evaluating how the implementation of a new encryption protocol affect data transmission and communication across various parts of the system. Friends, it ensures that control do not have unintended consequences on the overall system functionality. Friends, by identifying unintended consequences during system testing, organization can proactively mitigate these issues before controls are fully developed in the production environment. So we can say that system testing is a critical step in addressing the effect of controls beyond their anticipated scope. It ensures that controls do not have unintended consequences on the overall system functionality by systematically evaluating their impact and providing opportunities for proactive mitigation and continuous improvement. Next, Next we'll discuss about the separation and assurance, that is developers and final testing. First, about the separation of testing process. Friends, separating two testing process involve distinct stages where developers focus on individual component testing and final system testing evaluate the integrated system as a whole. And developers conduct unit testing on specific functions or modules, while final system testing assess the entire application with all the components integrated. So separating developer testing and final testing help in ensuring the components being tested are not being modified during the testing process. Friends, separation helps to maintain a controlled testing environment, reducing the likelihood of unexpected changes that could impact the validity of test result. So the separation supports an incremental and controlled progression from individual component testing to the comprehensive evaluation of the entire system, minimizing the complexity of the troubleshooting. Next, this separation also provide a level of assurance in identifying and addressing integration problem within the system. Friends, separating testing phase that help to prevent unintended interference with the component by developer who may be making ongoing modifications during the testing process. So the separation of developer testing from final system testing is a strategic approach that ensures that the integrity of component provide assurance in identifying integration problems and support controlled progression toward a reliable and a well integrated system. And this approach contribute to the overall quality and effectiveness of the testing process. Next, about the identification of the system problem. Friends, the separation enables the identification of system level problems, encompassing issues that may arise from the interaction of multiple components of the overall behavior of the integrated system. Friends, separation allows for clear distinction between integration issues which arise when components interact with the problems with individual components, providing clarity during the troubleshooting process. Just take an example like a differentiating whether an error is due to the miscommunication between the modules or a flaw in the logic of the specific module. Friends, the separation enhances the efficiency of identifying and addressing system level issues as it allows testing effort to focus specifically on how integrated components functions together. And by isolating integration issues during final system testing, team can strategically address challenges related to the collaboration and the communication between the different components. This enhances the efficiency of identifying and addressing system level issues. Friends, the separation between the developer and the final system testing plays a pivotal role in efficiently identifying and addressing system level issues. This approach allows for targeted resolution of integration challenges, which enhances the collaboration between the teams and ultimately contribute to the reliability and effectiveness of the integrated system. Next, next we'll discuss about the assessment of security functions, that is system design compliance. First is about the design compliance. Friends, system testing is a critical phase in a testing life cycle, focusing on evaluating the entire integrated system to ensure its functionality, performance, and importantly its security features. So conducting thorough system testing on a financial application to verify not only its functional aspect but also its adherence to the security requirement. So system testing is essential for verifying that security functions implemented in the system comply with the specified designs, which include security policies, requirement, and architectural consideration. Just take an example like checking that the encryption algorithm used in the system align with the security design requirement outlined in the project documentation. Friends, system testing involves assessing the actual implementation of the security measures within the system to ensure that they are correctly integrated and operational. It verifies that the implemented security measures align with the original design and intentions outlined during the system development and design phase. Next is about the approval and documentation. Friends, system testing involves a thorough examination to verify if there are any deviation from the original design of the system, including security related aspects. So checking whether additional access privilege were granted to a user account deviating from the initial design that specified a different level of access. And if deviation from the original design are identified, system design testing ensures that these deviations have been properly approved and documented. And this involves a formal process of acknowledging and authorizing changes. Friends, verification of deviation and the associated approvals process contribute to the transparency by making all changes visible and accessible to relevant stakeholders. So providing a clear record of changes made to the security configurations, enhancing transparency for security administrators and the auditors. Friends, system testing by verifying deviation and approvals contribute to the accountability by establishing a clear link between the implementation of security functions and the responsible parties. The verification of deviations ensures that the implementation adheres to the established change management process, which are crucial for controlled and secure system modification. Similarly, in addition, proper documentation of approved deviations support auditing process and ensure compliance with the regulatory requirement that may mandate recording and justifying the changes. Friends, this is crucial for maintaining transparency and accountability in implementation of security functions. Friends, system testing plays a crucial role in verifying deviation from the original design, ensuring proper approval and documentation, and this contribute to the transparency, accountability, and compliance with the process and effective risk management in the implementation of security function within the system. Next, about the built-in security measures. Friends, system testing involves a comprehensive evaluation of the security functions implemented in the system, verifying that their robustness and effectiveness. Taking example like testing encryption algorithm, access control, and authentication mechanism to ensure they provide a strong defense against potential security threats. Friends, built-in security measures refer to the security features and the protocols inherently integrated into the system design and architecture. So, incorporating secure coding practices, encryption protocols, and the secure communication channels are foundational elements of the system built in security. Friends, the goal of assessing security function is to safeguard the system against a wide range of potential security threats, including unauthorized access, data breaches, and other vulnerabilities. Friends, moving next about the comprehensive security assessment. Friends, system testing involves a thorough and a comprehensive evaluation of all the security functions implemented in the system, including access control, encryption, authentication mechanism, and more. So, testing a system ability to detect and respond to various security scenarios such as intrusion attempt, data breaches, and unauthorized access. So, system testing aims to uncover any potential gap or weaknesses in the security measures of the system which could be exploited by the attackers or lead to the vulnerabilities. Friends, identifying a configuration error that inadvertently exposes a critical database to the unauthorized access. So the identification of gap or weaknesses during system testing enables proactive measures to be taken to address and remediate any vulnerabilities before the system is deployed. It is an integral part of vulnerability management, helping organizations to identify, prioritize, and mitigate security vulnerabilities in a systematic manner. Friends, system testing plays a critical role in providing the comprehensive assessment of security functions, identifying potential gap or weaknesses and enable proactive measures to address the vulnerabilities. And this proactive approach is essential for building a resilient and a secure system in the face of evolving cyber threats. Next, we'll discuss about some security and design compliance. First is about the risk mitigation. Friends, system testing serve as a crucial step in overall risk mitigation strategically by specifically focusing on security aspect of the system. It aims to identify and address potential security risk before the system is deployed. System testing involves a thorough assessment to ensure that the implemented security functions comply with the design specifications and the requirement established during the system's development. Friends, verifying that the encryption algorithm used in the system align with the design specification for protecting sensitive data. So during system testing, any deviation from the original design of security functions are identified and scrutinized. This include discrepancies or differences between the design intent and the actual implementation. It ensures that the proper measures are in place to address and rectify any identified deviations from the design, and this involve implementing corrective actions to align the system with the intended security architecture. Friends, system testing plays a crucial role in mitigating security risk by assessing the design compliance of security functions, identifying and addressing deviations, and ensuring that the proper measures are in place to enhance the overall security of the system. And this proactive approach is integral to building a robust and a resilient security posture. Next, about the control implementation. Friends, system testing involves a dedicated assessment of the implementation of the various security control, such as access control, encryption mechanism, intrusion detection system, and more. It verifies that the security control are seamlessly integrated into a system architecture, ensuring they work cohesively with other components. So ensuring that encryption protocol are integrated into data transmission process, providing end-to-end protection without compromising system functionality. So security controls are functionally validated during system testing to confirm that they operate as intended and effectively address specific security requirement. And the primary purpose of testing security control is to ensure that they provide effective protection against a range of security threats, including unauthorized access, data breaches, and the malicious activities. Friends, system testing includes the validation of encryption mechanism to ensure the secure handling and transmission of sensitive information. Security controls are evaluated for their ability to detect security incidents, respond effectively, and this include testing incident response mechanism and alerting system. To summarize, we can say that a system testing is indeed essential for verifying the implementation of security control within the system, and this process ensures the effective integration and functionality of these controls, ultimately providing a robust defense against security threats and contributing to the overall security posture of the system. Next, about the transparency and accountability. Friends, system testing promotes the transparency by providing a clear and objective assessment of the system security function. And this transparency ensures that our stakeholders have a comprehensive understanding of the security measures in place. It fosters accountability by holding individuals or team responsible for the design, implementation, and effectiveness of the security control. It establishes a clear link between the stakeholders and their roles in maintaining a secure system. Friends, through systematic testing, security protocols are evaluated to ensure that they are not only in place but also effective in mitigating potential security risk. And this evaluation adds a layer of assurance to the overall security posture. System testing ensures that the security functions and control implementation align with the established security standards, both internal organizational standards and external industry or regulatory standards. And the transparency provided by the system testing facilities effectively communicate about the status of security measures to the relevant stakeholders, and this include informing management, security team, and a system user about the system security posture. Friends, it ensures that security protocols are in place and adhere accordingly. Friends, at last we can say that the system testing plays a pivotal role in promoting the transparency and accountability in the system security measures. It goes beyond technical evaluation, contributing to a culture of openness, responsibility, and continuous improvement in maintaining a secure and a resilient system. Moving next we'll discuss about some identification of integrating problems, that is distinguishing system challenges. First is about the integration issues. Friends, system testing involves evaluating how different components of the system work together as a whole. And this Issues. This comprehensive assessment help identify the issues that may arise when these components are integrated. Example, detecting communication failure between modules or interoperability issues between software and hardware component during the system testing. Friends, system testing allow for the differentiation between the problems that arise when individual components are tested in the isolation and issues that manifest only when these components are integrated into the larger system. So system testing is instrumental in identifying integrating problems within the system, enabling a targeted resolution for these challenges. And this ensures that a system operates seamlessly as a cohesive unit, delivering the intended functionality and performance when deployed in a production environment. Next about the efficient problem resolution. Friends, system testing distinguishes issues that arise when different components interact with the problems that may be isolated or to individual components. This differentiation is crucial for targeted problem solving. Let's take an example like identify the errors occur only when the specific module communicate with each other and signaling and integration issues rather than a problem within each module individually. So by understanding the nature of the issues, whether it is related to an integration of components or isolated to the specific components, system testing streamline the resolution process, making it more efficient and effective. Friends, system testing directs attention to the challenges that arise when different components come together, allowing team to concentrate their efforts on resolving these integration specific issues. Resolving integration challenges identified in the system testing contribute to the optimization of the overall system functionality. And this ensures that a system operates cohesively and meet performance expectations. Friends, differentiation of integration issues and component problems in a system testing is important for efficient problem resolution. And this targeted approach not only addresses immediate challenges but also contribute to the overall optimization of the system functionality and the continuous improvement of integration process. Next, we'll discuss about some effective system testing methods. Friends, it includes recovery, system testing, security, stress, volume, performance, compliance, and more. System testing is crucial for ensuring the functionality, security, and compliance of new or modified system. Let's start first. First is about the recovery testing. That is checks the system ability to recover after a component failure. First is the purpose. Friends, recovery testing is a type of software testing that assesses a system ability to recover after a failure or a disruptive event. And a primary goal is to ensure that the system can resume normal operations with minimal data loss and downtime. So recovery testing ensures that a critical data is not lost during a failure. And this is crucial for systems that handle sensitive or valuable information, where data integrity and persistence are paramount. And beyond data integrity, friends, recovery testing assess the system's capability to resume normal operations swiftly and effectively after a failure. This involves checking whether the system can return to a stable state without significant manual intervention. And through recovery testing, friends, weaknesses and vulnerabilities in the system recovery mechanism are identified. And this allows for proactive measures to be taken to strengthen the system resilience. Friends, recovery testing is a critical aspect of ensuring the resilience and robustness of a system. And by simulating failures and disruption, organization can proactively identify weaknesses, enhance recovery mechanism, and minimize the impact of potential incidents on data and operation. Next, we'll discuss about some process of the recovery testing. Friends, recovery testing intentionally induces failures or disruption in the system to evaluate how well it can withstand and recover from the adverse situation, like simulating an server crash or network outage or software malfunction to trigger a failure scenario. And after causing the intentional failure, the testing process involves closely observing how the system responds to the disruptive event. Friends, recovery testing includes evaluating the system ability to recover and the critical data in the event of loss or corruption. And testing process involves reviewing error logs generated by the system during and after the failure. And this help in identifying the root cause of the issues and tracking the sequence of event. It assesses how well the system maintains the stability throughout and after the recovery process. This includes verifying that the system returned to a functional and a stable state. Friends, ensuring that a system continue to operate smoothly without further disruption after recovering from a simulated failure. Friends, different failure scenarios are simulated to cover a range of potential issues that the system may encounter in the real world situation. Testing process includes documenting the step taken and the result observed during the recovery testing. This documentation provides the insight into the effectiveness of the recovery process. Friends, recovery testing involves intentionally causing failure, observing the system response, and evaluating the data recovery, examining error logs, assessing system stability, and documenting the entire process. And this system approach helps the organization to ensure the reliability and effectiveness of their system in the face of unexpected disruption. Next, Next is about the security testing, that is verify the system access control and vulnerabilities. First is about the objectives. Friends, security testing involves the systematic examination of a system to uncover potential risk and vulnerabilities that could be exploited by the malicious actor. One of the primary goals of the security testing is to ensure that the system has robust access control in place, preventing unauthorized users from gaining entry. Friends, security testing focuses on safeguarding sensitive information such as personal data, financial records, or proprietary business data from unauthorized disclosure or tampering. It assesses the effectiveness of authentication mechanism, ensuring that users' identifiers are verified securely and reliably. Friends, authorization control are examined to ensure that users are granted access only to the resources and the functionalities that align with their roles and the permission. It includes scanning for vulnerabilities in network configuration, firewalls, and other network related elements to prevent unauthorized network access. Next, next about the execution. Friends, the testing involves various techniques such as pen testing, vulnerability scanning, and code review to assess the system security mechanism. Friends, pen testing, also known as ethical hacking, involve simulating real-world cyber attack to identify vulnerabilities and weaknesses in a system security defenses. So, to assess how well the system can withstand attack and to uncover potential entry point for unauthorized access. So, a pen tester might attempt to exploit vulnerabilities in a web application to gain unauthorized access or extract sensitive information. Friends, vulnerability scanning involves automated tools that systematically scans a system for known vulnerabilities, misconfiguration or weaknesses. So to identify and prioritize vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers, allowing organization to proactively address security risk. Next, about the code review. Friends, code review involve manual examination of source code by developers or security expert to identify security flaws, coding errors, or vulnerabilities. So to ensure that the application code adhere to the security best practices and to catch vulnerabilities that automated tools might overlook. Friends, these techniques collectively contribute to a comprehensive security testing approach, helping organizations assess and enhance the security mechanism of their systems. So each technique play a specific role in identifying and mitigating security risk throughout the development of life cycle and operational phase of a system. Moving next we'll discuss about the importance of security testing. Friends, security testing is a crucial for safeguarding sensitive information, including personal data, financial records, and proprietary business information from unauthorized access or disclosure, and ensuring that robust encryption mechanisms are in place to protect sensitive data during transmission and storage. Friends, it helps to identify and address vulnerabilities that could be exploited by the cyber attackers, mitigating the risk of unauthorized access, data breaches, and other cyber threat. So, patching software vulnerabilities promptly to prevent exploitation by malware or attackers. Friends, effective security testing contribute to maintaining the trust of customer, clients and the stakeholders by demonstrating a commitment to protecting their data and privacy. Friends, security testing is critical component of an organization's cyber security strategy, helping protect sensitive information, mitigate cyber threat and maintain trust, ensuring compliance and contribute to the overall business resilience in the face of evolving security challenges. Next, next we'll discuss about the stress and the volume testing. That is, determine the application's capacity and performance under load. First is about the stress testing. Friends, stress testing evaluate how a system performs under extreme conditions that go beyond the normal operational parameter. And these conditions may include high user traffic, resource constraint, or intensive processing loads. Friends, the main goal of the stress testing is to uncover potential weaknesses or point of failure in the system when subject to the stress induced condition. It not only identify weaknesses but also help to optimize the system performance by addressing the bottlenecks, improving the scalability and enhancing the resource utilization. Friends, stress testing involves simulating scenario where a large number of users access the system concurrently to assess how well it can handle the peak load. Just take an example of a Black Friday sale on the e-commerce platform to evaluate its performance under the highest anticipated traffic. It involves subjecting the system to the resource intensive operation such as complex calculation or data processing to evaluate its performance under heavy computational loads. Friends, stress testing is a crucial part of the performance testing that assess a system resilience under extreme condition, identify potential point of failure and allow for the optimization to ensure optimal performance during period of high demand or resource intensive operation. Next, next is about the volume testing. Friends, volume testing assesses the system capacity to handle large volumes of data. This includes both processing and storing data efficiently, and testing how a database system manages a significant increase in the number of records without a decline in performance. So the primary focus is on how well the system can manage and manipulate substantial amount of data without experiencing issues such as slowdown, errors or resource exhaustion. It ensures that the system can process data efficiently, maintaining reasonable response time even as the volume of the data increases. Friends, the goal is to identify potential performance degradation as the volume of the data increases and to take measures to prevent or mitigate such degradation. Friends, volume testing helps to identify potential performance bottlenecks that may arise when dealing with the large data sets, allowing for optimization and fine tuning. Overall, we can say that is a crucial step for performance testing that ensure a system can efficiently manage and process large volume of data without compromising performance. It helped organization to identify potential issues related to the data scalability and implement optimization to ensure optimal system performance in real world usage condition. Next, we'll discuss about some stress and the volume testing. Friends, stress oblique volume testing combines the aspect of both volume testing and stress testing by introducing large quantity of data and high level of user traffic simultaneously. Just take an example like where a web application experiences a surge in both user traffic and data input and creating conditions similar to peak usage hours. So the primary goal is to assess the system performance under conditions that closely mimic peak usage hours where both data volume and user traffic are at their highest. Friends, stress oblique volume testing aims to identify any potential bottlenecks, performance degradation, or inefficiencies that may arise when the system is under heavy load. And the insight gained from the stress of the volume testing allow for targeted optimization to address the specific areas where the system exhibit weaknesses under stress. Friends, by simulating conditions similar to the real world usage, stress oblique volume testing provide valuable insight into how the system will perform when faced with the demand of actual user during peak time. Friends, stress oblique volume testing is a robust and a comprehensive testing approach that combine large data sets with high level of user traffic to evaluate and optimize the system performance during peak usage hours. It helps the organization to identify potential issues, optimize specific areas, and ensure that system can handle the demand of real world scenario. Moving next is about the performance testing. That is first that they compare system performance using benchmarks. First is about the benchmarking. Friends, performance testing involves assessing the system performance by comparing its behavior against the predetermined benchmark or industry standards. So the primary goal of performance testing is to evaluate how well the system performs under different conditions such as varying loads, usage pattern, or data volumes. It provides valuable insight into the areas where the system may exhibit weaknesses, bottlenecks, or suboptimal performance. Friends, performance testing often involves benchmarking the system performance against industry standards or the best practices to ensure that it meet or exceed established norms. It encompasses various types including load testing, stress testing, and scalability testing, each focusing on different aspects of the system performance. Friends, performance testing involves monitoring and analyzing key performance metrics such as response time, throughput, and resource utilization to assess the system behavior. Friends, system this assessing metrics such as response time, throughput, resource utilization, and other user experience indicators during performance testing provides valuable insight into the efficiency, scalability, and overall performance of a system under varying workloads. And these metrics help the organization optimize their system to deliver a reliable and responsive user experience. Next, about the key metrics. Friends, under the key metrics, metrics such as response time, throughput, and resource utilization are assessed to gauge the system efficiency and scalability under various workload. Moving next is about the compliance testing. Friends, ensuring compliance with the regulations and standard. First is about the regulatory compliance. Friends, compliance testing is centered around verifying that a system aligns with the specific regulation, standards, and legal requirement relevant to its industry or domain. Compliance testing often involves assessing whether the test system follows data protection law that dictate how sensitive information is handled, stored, and transmitted. In this, the privacy regulation mandate how organizations collect, use and safeguard the personal information, and compliance testing ensure that the system alignment with these regulations. Different industries may have a specific compliance requirement based on the nature of their operation. So compliance testing addresses industry specific standards. Next, about the data protection. Friends, data protection, that is compliance testing, focuses on preventing the exposure of personally identifiable information in test environment where real user may be used for testing purpose. So by eliminating or anonymizing the personal identifiable information in test environment, compliance testing work to minimize the risk of data breaches that could occur if sensitive information is inadvertently exposed during testing. It promotes the ethical use of sensitive data by ensuring that organizations handle and treat user information with respect for privacy and legal consideration. Friends, compliance testing includes evaluating and implementing security measures within test environment to safeguard against unauthorized access and potential data leaks. Next, about the importance. Friends, compliance testing aims to ensure the personally identifiable information is not retained within test environment where real user data is often used for testing purpose. So by preventing the presence of PII in the test environment, compliance testing contribute to minimizing the risk of data breaches that could occur if sensitive information is exposed during testing. It promotes ethical use of sensitive data by ensuring the organization handle user information with respect for privacy and legal consideration. Friends, compliance testing may assess the transparency of organization regarding test data usage, whether users have provided informed consent for the potential use of their data in testing. Friends, compliance testing with the specific focus on preventing the presence of personally identifiable information in test environment is crucial for upholding the test data protection standards, reducing the risk of data breaches, and ensuring the ethical use of sensitive data throughout the software development lifecycle. Friends, here I come to the end of today's topic. Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and share among your friends, and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.